Reconciliations Committee ayati munya adwuma no se ne se ne fata obi a mama komade na che mama ne bi ni monfrɛ omo akomade omo ebi mu yare edam empam yare paso monfrɛ mu nyina na mumma omo nso nya bibi nka omo wie ese adidi gya ani mu na nam enidi gya obi se na be ya obi nya hoden ai campaign dem obani minim de be sha se nkomode Minister Vice President then I am as a chartered accountant and an economist analysis over pages in the mintiming kind after the Vice President Ekasa Kofi or Hinekunedu Auditorium UPSC then some our elaborate and then come out with the acheno adaroma minim de wa pick here frame na ebe bo man dachi and as emwa yankwenim
yo I think is a Vice President speech, no, the man, and then the matters arising. Like we said, after the Blechano, Mate, a lot of people, and the minority, the home, and now Professor Jampo, and so we are need the and Kaut me kind. Now, your home basis in ye now, say your answer be near the man. And then I also look at other things I pick from inside. Any advice I have a very simple advice for him. Yes, we'll take care of Buano. So what I say.
Prof. Jampo. A political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Professor Ramford Jampo, has stated that certain aspects of the address delivered by the new Patriotic Party flag bearer have vindicated his critics. Jampo, in an analysis of Dr. Bawumia'S address on Wednesday, 7th February 2024, said, part of the presentation was an indictment on the government of which he is part, in a manner that raises serious questions and vindicates those of us who have been critics of the government. He specifically highlighted the contradiction inherent in pledging not to have more than 50 ministers or being part of a government that currently comprises over 100 ministers. Additionally, Jampo pointed out the flag bearers' promise to abolish certain taxes, including the emission tax, gaming tax, e-levy tax, and VAT on electricity consumption. These promises, according to a political science lecturer, Professor Jampo, align with the criticisms he and others have raised regarding the need to streamline the size of government and eliminate what he terms nuisance taxes. Jampo reflected on the past, nothing that supporters of the flag bearer had previously criticized and opposed similar critics raised by him and others. He posed a rhetoric question, wondering whether these supporters would now direct their criticisms towards the flag bearer himself, and considering his current stance, that similarly aligns with the earlier calls for downsizing the government and eliminating what he deems as burdensome taxes. These are the highlighter, Professor Jampo Abuboso.
Very good. To be honest, if you look at the entire speech, first and foremost, he admitted, say, economy or challenges, but also segregating, from say the time when Amobaji in 2017 out to 2020, as a 2019, as a then near my very rosy, I fine. It will show all the bad economic indicators I'm inheriting now a year better. So, and also the fact that say because of the IMF program, now we have huge unemployment base. In Tiaban we buy necessarily turning Yama around to be able to make sure say graduates are now goofy and now formal group from graduate unemployment. I'm a found so and he was segregating me who say within 2017 to 2019, things were a bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
Which the indicators in true.
Yeah.
Because growth rate they left was around 3.2 or 3.7%. The time now COVID in 2019, it grew over 6%. So that is a fact. And inflation so bad form they do at that time it was single digit. So and now also admit is from 2019, 2020 going on, and now COVID-19 didn't boom. So that is and then beyond that, and also Russia and Ukraine war. And to be honest, says when we are analyzing economy, being it locally Ghana and internationally, not say one fact, sir, that particular period, what happened now, and the whole world go into crisis. One family champion a year. So what is it? Until only foundation, actually say within that period, a lot of things happened. Also the whole world so effective be into Ghana, any exception. And because of that, we were forced to go to IMF and near qualify year and all those things. And only 18. So I admit that fact. Then beyond that, also admitted the fact to say, akufo-addo administration, now I'm take you over. So he was given specific role to play as a head of economic management team, EMT. Ne boss Emma no opportunity Emma were implementing near maybe an ever ni trim and as I'm as cabinet near the other, and especially near more dim wakotimpa okay the okay digitization, and no just or the man, and you talked a lot about the digitization. So they say and how I help the various institutions and the agencies, to progress into and also so okay said he was given the opportunity and all those things. So having said that, no and a bar near opese or yema or man a woman opportunity to become a president, vision or dema. I've had opportunity to look at points okay. I think we got about 77 points or who you did some review. Okay. So what I say, if you go there briefly before and sign up, me president.
Number one, I think it's a growth mindset curriculum to help students build critical skills such as problem solving, risk-taking opportunities, sporting, and design thinking. Enhancing reposition of the education system towards STEM, robotic and artificial, and expand infrastructure at medical schools.
Infrastructure expansion, good.
And also enhance fiscal discipline through an independent fiscal
discipline has something to do with your revenue generation and then the expenditure.
Okay. How are you mobilizing tax
okay. It has to do with the budget.
Okay.
And he also ensures enhanced physical discipline.
Okay.
Physical discipline has something to do with trying to ensure the expenditure and we're streamlining in such a way you get the value for money.
Okay.
So there's a BBN as I say. And so that is a tougher. Okay. But I think the detail, will go there.
Reduce the number of ministers to 50.
Yes, and not Professor Jampo also be reduced to 50. Okay. So what I say, yes, I also have a problem with that. And so we also look at
the Fiscal Responsibility Act will also be amended to add a fiscal rule.
Yes.
That requires that budget expenditure in any year does not exceed 105%.
That is fine.
Okay.
That is fine. Okay. So it's another amendment. It has something to do with the law.
Okay.
Once it does that, it guides you.
Okay.
It's a guidepost.
Okay.
Yes, good.
Reduce the fiscal burden on government by leveraging the private sector.
Okay.
That's another point.
That is also fine.
And introduce a very simple, citizen and business-friendly flat tax regime.
Okay.
And also another point.
And also you're very good.
Okay.
Because you see, in certain categories of business, I'm listening. Individual tax assessment rate,
okay,
and very difficult because of that. A lot of people and submit account near there for that individual assessment point.
Okay.
So media for me, it is good that certain categories of business say if you get a flat rate, a flat rate percentage,
okay,
and he say, oh, why, Savio, when I will turn car, you know, turn car. It's also depend on car, say be a cooler, it is a flat rate.
Okay.
So what is here?
Okay.
Once I walk garage,
okay,
and the flat rate, ubetuya.
Okay.
Once I say a Land Cruiser, and no rate,
okay,
and he flat and I who say, and on a bet me, I buy it to me, Sikamo. So I think it's a no idea.
Okay,
proposal.
Mobile 20, so
yeah.
Tax amnesty, another point, electronic and faceless audits by GRA.
Yes.
No tax.
I was faceless. It means the interface of mobile through the digitization. I'll go to my audit to home office without necessarily coming to the, which of course, word.
No tax on digital payments. That digital, the e-levy will therefore be abolished.
Okay.
No VAT on electricity if still on books. No emission tax. And no betting tax. Temaport will be fully automated. Temaport will be fully automated.
But the question is that for now, it's not automated. Yes, but it'll be a full or say fully. So maybe a certain aspect to be automated.
A new policy of aligning the duties and charges at Temaport to the duties and charges at Lomi Port.
Are you sure they will do? Okay, when I promise. Lomi, because somebody had the minimum say port free.
Spare parts importers duties will be at a flat rate per container.
Okay.
20 or 40 foot.
Yes, indeed. Never say containers in Ebano. Say spare parts in one. And then when I am usually I will be around the car. No, the spare parts no every.
Question people are champion. People ask and they say paperless port system being so by. And what's them could see?
And now they catch we see, look, human factor. Yeah, human being here. So, champion, no matter how automated now the canon. And what in the name make it so one more modern putty proper control system. Then you pay Yesika, your man appropriate a sanction. Me am punishing enough. Massa, forget it. Forget it. Yeah. Once I no automated. No, you do my honor. Computer no can only must we implement this. I don't. So what I say? A kind of first of a chrono. Now there's a fast system no more. And I would echo. Now for Muswe. And we will look at it and then see how. I mean, it will help. Okay. But of course, let's give the benefit of the doubt. Yes, maybe something different is coming. So if you mention a year, we are copying 70 something one. What I take from this sentence, it's an attempt, right? I see significantly doing away with a lot of taxes, right? When we say a lot of taxes, we also obey BB afa. What do you say? Meanwhile, was also talking about how our physical gap no obey improve no na healthy ama economy na grow. Enti me share the statement now about the physical or make you no, and the taxes now we then I found something very, very intriguing. We say enhance fiscal discipline through an independent fiscal responsibility can enshrine in the fiscal responsibility, reduce the number of ministers to this, and then also the fiscal responsibility out of that's fine. Now, we all know say for now, as it stands, your problem with our fiscal space. In a sense that we share a budget, you prepare no champion. If you look at the revenue, any the expenditure gap now, a wide, a very wide. I can't democracy. And you see, if you can remember, this budget they read last November. Now I'm targeting expenditure of revenue of about what? You can remember?
This I find it out from document. You say you can't want some pay.
Yes, it's about about 150 million there. 150 billion.
Yeah.
And the expenditure is about
200 something.
And so when you subtract the difference, about 50 something billion.
Yeah.
The 60 something billion. Now, you see, all this revenue and include the various taxes now Bawumia'S will be free honor. Meanwhile, you still have the gap of 20 billion. Champion, I'm being professional. So what I say, because you analyze it. And yet, you just jump and then be talking about it. Oh, you be you if you say. Debbie, as I say, we analyze it now, then you put it in the proper context. Near I say, going forward, you know, how is this going to help us? Because champion, problem ye tomu emribino, yempesi abekombio. Enti me tembiano me analyze things from objective point of view. Now, Usha about we read budget, the various taxes here yabubo bodi ye free nano. It take into consideration all those taxes. And to me my equal 150 billion or 160 billion, and then expenditure. Now the difference, normally, say if government wants to embark on all the developmental projects now, it means then that as I say, Coco finding 50 billion or the best also. So the question is where? And so it will come from borrowing. Now, champion, let's analyze this. Supposing what Bawumia'S is saying is may you wait for, may you wait for, may you wait for. And to abandon be free ho. Now say, funny say, revenue no esote. Unless of course there is alternative for obey generate sikane free ho apart from those taxes no be free ho. Ebi obey will be alternative there. Then I will say we free ho no now we be shame. Say an alternative ni ho there. Then it means then that you free ho it means targeted revenue no super follow. What am I saying?
Okay, my baby, I didn't fancy.
What am I saying? That's a super follow.
Yeah.
Because for now, no budget we will take into consideration all those taxes, no. And am I about 150 billion? Meanwhile, our expenditure is 120. It's a fiscal gap of 50 billion. Now, that's many women in free ho. And so alternative be yanka and just quite before we generate no. Then it means then that we should expect say revenue expect as to follow.
Okay.
Yes, in the other say so follow by even 20 billion. So the deficit no. Because we expenditure is so 20 billion. So one tier expenditure so there. Let's say a gap near 70 billion. And the borrowing should go to 70 billion instead of 50 billion.
Okay.
Where I'm coming from. I'm not saying, Sabio, I'm always, as a professional, I analyze things. No, how is this thing feasible between Abua, Sabio, young call, and what champion? Because you see, look, this about by 2016, 17. There were so many taxes I see by year free. What is the same thing? To send you see. The same thing was said in 2016 back. Say about the year floor. And indeed, about what
17
taxes. Nuisance taxes. Yeah. Of course, some are nuisance. Into me, we free work can pay. This is a condom tax.
Kai
and only at this what I say. And maybe so duty so near the idea near your tiff so free what I say. But at the end of the day, what I say, who will say, I feel a good point to be a year qua, nothing, yes, the new taxes in the we are introducing new ones. And so I ask myself, so why? Because you have been from 17. So why port to where you different so still the business of car or port so. So I ask myself, so why are we going?
Okay.
Is it the public sentiment I can busy Amana say we have analyzing the economy critically to know our stand.
Okay. So
that I am careful about certain things. So what I say. And so the same thing, akufo-addo is leaving. Bawumia is coming. And also making the same things. I mean, and taxes are a lot. So I ask myself, we have two income generating source. Either you generate it internally or you go and follow. Look, listeners who listen to it, we are analyzing it for you to know our image. So that if it's pushed to some point, that's why not the repercussion about at the end of the day, if you don't talk, you're going to introduce another ways as in the flow. Because we are dealing with economy, its expansion and everything. But of course, having said that, we are listening to me my advice about say also be everywhere, and you may be also may expect to say, you be. And yes, I am afraid.
So, mommy,
what you say?
So, mommy, now making crap to him right now. I think you become abolition of taxes and the introduction of new taxes. Going forward and going to election 2024, the vice president now the candidate, Edema NPP. And on an era, Christian don't Kwashasia, you analyzing. You do be taxes be na NDC for the good show NPP by be through. There's a year along the lines of the beside the questions people are asking, even Professor Jampo say, or can't buy home and a e-levy or after so about abolition. Or can't buy home and you 100 ministers after so about so it seems there's a bridge between the flag bearer and the government. You better analyzing it. Stay tuned now. So say Sika fee actually promotion *274 *3#. And I'll pay. Let's select option 1. Net2 TV. We selecting Net2 TV. Now we send the pay. Number of ticket. Do not send our person or 2 boom. Back be a 5 Ghana cedis. And then Sophia day Nyasika 2 botum. If I could do weekend. I mean, Jane Krato Basima back. You better also.